Our guest today is Janice Kovach, the mayor of the town of Clinton. And Janice, the first thing I'd like to ask you is, you are obviously a female mayor. What did you do to rise to this level? Because my guess is women mayors in New Jersey and probably elsewhere are outnumbered by men who are mayors.
Absolutely true. New Jersey's got 565 municipalities, and I believe less than 80 are run by women mayors, and less than that are directly elected. So, for me, I don't think I ever thought about myself as I'm a woman, and that isn't something I should aspire to. This is truly, it was my passion to be involved in politics, and the worst thing someone can really do to me is tell me I really can't do something, because that is that red flag in my face, and I'm going to go and make sure that I can do it. But I had a passion for what I did. I knew what I was talking about. I made sure I understood. And I also admitted the fact that I didn't know everything. And I was going to have to learn as I went forward. But I had ideas. I knew what my community needed, what I wanted to see my community continue to become. And I think that is what kind of took me to that level. I don't ever remember thinking, oh, I'm a woman and I really can't do this.
Politics is not the most gentle pursuit. So how did you make it to this level? Because it couldn't have been easy.
It's not. You definitely have to have a thick skin. When someone says that you need to have the skin of a rhinoceros, that is absolutely true. It is blood sport. The benefit that I had is I'm in a small town, so we didn't have some of that fighting that was going on that you see in the press. Obviously, we don't make the news, so our races aren't as insane. But you have to get to a point where you believe in what you do. You have to have the understanding that not everyone is going to agree with you and not everyone is going to like you. And I didn't do the job to be liked. I did the job to make an impact in my community. And ultimately, when I go to bed at night, I know that all the decisions I've made and all the stuff that we've done in town has been for the right reasons. Not everyone's happy, but ultimately the town's in a better place. And that, to me, is how I've been able to kind of push aside the negativity.
Has it been more difficult for you because you're a woman?
Yes, it is definitely more difficult as a woman. Part of it is I get introduced as the female mayor, and a lot of times I will respond if it's a man who's a mayor who's introducing me. I'll say, "Are you the male mayor?" And he's like, "No, I'm the mayor." And I'm like, "So am I." The role has no gender definition to it. It's whoever can do the job to the best of the ability, and that will benefit the town. So, and people, and men especially, will get a little put off when I make those kinds of comments. But ultimately, we shouldn't be looking at how someone's gender to determine if they can do a job or not. I mean, I can't change who I am. Oh, I guess I could change who I am. I'm not going to change who I am, and I'm comfortable with who I am. I'm also comfortable with what I can do and what I can accomplish. And sometimes it has worked to my advantage in that people will underestimate what I know or what I understand. And I can come in and show them what I really do know and what I understand. But it shouldn't be gender specific. No, there really shouldn't be jobs that are gender specific. For me, a woman should not be told she can't do something because she's a woman. If she doesn't have the skill set, absolutely. But don't tell me because I'm a woman I can't do something.
What makes it more difficult for a woman to be successful in politics?
The ability to separate emotion from anything that's going on, because it's hard not to take someone who's saying something about you personally. You have to be confident in who you are and the job that you're doing, and say, you know what, they're never going to like me, and I'm okay with that because I like me. I'm not doing this to make friends, but I'm doing this because ultimately the community that I live in is going to be that much better. And you have to surround yourself with a good team as well. It's not a silo and where I'm the only one doing it. I have an amazing council that I work with, mixed council, men and women, from all walks of life, all ages, but we work together, and they respect me because they've seen what I've done, and that I put the politics aside to focus on what's important. And I think ultimately that's what we need to get electeds towards that, is to get away from the politics and the politicking and really focus on what we bring to our communities.
And to follow up on that, what do you think the skills that women bring to the table in politics are as they differ from what men might bring to the table?
I'm going to use an example. So in 2012, when the government shut down, and you saw all the congressmen out on and the senators out on the talk shows talking about how they were going to keep it shut down. What you didn't know or didn't read about was that there were a group of bipartisan women that sat down and actually wrote the framework to reopen government. And there were two individuals who gave them credit, Senator McCain and Senator Udall from Colorado. But other than that, you didn't hear about it. In the most recent snowstorm we had in January, when the House opened, the only individuals who went to work that morning were the women congressmen and the women senators, because ultimately we look at things so much differently. It's not about our personal gain. We get involved mostly in politics because we want to fix something. You know, it's that nurturing and that ability to kind of compromise where maybe a man isn't willing to compromise. You know, you set something in stone and you got to stick to it. I don't look at it that way. I mean, I don't always agree with my male counterparts, but I can hear what they're saying and I can respect the fact that they have their opinion. I don't always see that on the other side, and I'm generalizing, so it's not everyone, but I think women just have that sense of listening and being able to work through to get to, you know, we've got 10 things we disagree on, but we have 20 things we agree on. So let's focus on the 20 that we agree on, not the 10 we don't.
What advice would you give to young women who want to get into politics and are concerned about their ability to be successful because they're women and what the future may hold?
Find another woman to mentor. Be passionate, because if you don't have a passion for this, then it will eat you up and spit you out. But really focus on what you bring to the table and be confident in who you are and know that you are going to, you may not be given opportunities to run in districts that are winnable, but continue at it, because as you build that base, I think what surprises a lot of people is that, you know, women who stay at it, women who continue. I've run for, not only for mayor, I sat on council before, but I've also run for state assembly and I've run for Congress. And people expect me to kind of crawl back into a hole and say, oh, I didn't win, so I can't do it. But, you know, I learn from those experiences and I take those learnings and share them with others.
Janice, thank you very much for being with us today, and I'd like to remind everyone to join us at the Women Business Leaders Forum on September 23rd at the Hanover Marriott. You can register to be with us at njbia.org.